Okay, start over. Take two.
Take two.
When I can't see my way, Father, I need your grace.
So, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to Choosing to Wait TV. We're
Thank you.
so glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Yolisa, and I am a lifestyle YouTuber here on YouTube and a singer-songwriter. I sing R&B music, and I pretty much get on the internet to spread good vibes. I do it through my music. I do it on Periscope, through moments of gratitude, and I just believe, I was born with the gift to encourage people, and so I like to do it through the media.
Wow, okay, good. So we'll leave her information down below because I didn't even know that. That's awesome. That's inspirational. So I just came to ask her a few questions about, abstinence and sexual purity. So let's get started.
Yes.
So, Yoli.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you celibate or abstinent, or why is that something that is important to you?
Yeah, so I have I'm Christian, first of all. And when you're Christian, you get taught to wait. Now, I didn't wait. I'm going to be very honest. I lost my virginity when I was 16 and didn't until I was maybe in my 20s. I didn't kind of get into that life of just, having a casual sex. And for the beginning of my 20s, which I'm still technically in, it just caused a lot of drama. Like all of my relationships were failed. I felt really drained and a lack of self-esteem and just using sex for all the wrong reasons. And when I started going back to church about a little over a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I didn't even fully give it up then, but I just felt called to just live this life, actually do my faith for real, like be the real deal, not just saying I'm Christian and not following what Jesus has called me and asked me to do. And so I am now celibate and have been celibate for I think it's a little under a year now, and I do it because quite frankly I would just rather not deal with the other side of that. Yes, it's like you get there's like a sweetness that comes with being like a rush and exhilaration that comes with not being celibate at first, but then the outfall of that is like, it's kind of like when you drink too much the night before and you're really hungover the next day and you feel crappy. Just all of those feelings that come along with that life, I don't want them anymore. So yeah.
And that's a good point because, here we want to encourage people to be celibate and be abstinent. And it doesn't really matter, what you've done. You can always decide to be abstinent, like you're saying. And a lot of people don't tell their stories. I'm really glad you said that you're starting in your early 20s. Yeah. And it's to encourage someone out there because people think, it's too late, I'm not perfect, I've done things. It doesn't matter, You can always start anew, start afresh, and live a meaningful life and encourage others to do the same.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, adding to that, even just with outside of my faith, as a woman, when we have sex, and people don't teach you this, it drains your energy. Your energy gets taken away. I would rather use that energy to do something else. I'd rather use that energy to build my business and live my life than give it to people who don't deserve it.
Wow, that's good. Tweet that.
Tweet that. Tweet that.
Yes. So my second question is, have you encountered any obstacles trying to be celibate? I guess you kind of answered that before, but
yeah. So yes, I did, and in the past I failed in the face of those challenges, but being celibate now, and being an adult, living on my own, not being in my mom's house. When you're a single adult, everything in the world tells you that you shouldn't be a single adult, that you should be seeing somebody. Every song, every movie tells me that I should be being romanced by some stranger. And so I think that the challenges that I face now are more because I know I'm not going to have sex, right? I know that's not what I want to do, but I still have all these really cute guys approach me, and they're not Christian, or they say they're Christian, but they don't go to church. I know they don't value that. So I think the challenge now is more so nipping things in the bud, even if my own desire is like, but he's so cute, and he bought me shoes, and he buys me stuff, and he's nice, and he's generous, and he's so cute. Yeah. Like, that's my challenge of just keeping my vision and my focus, knowing that, okay, I don't just want a boyfriend, I want to have a husband, and I don't, I there's certain things that I want that even if this guy seems really nice, he's really sweet right now, I know it has nothing, he's not the guy for me. So that's the challenge, is staying disciplined enough to say no to people, even if they haven't asked me for sex, even if they say yes, okay, fine, I'm okay with you being abstinent. I know that if we're not equally yoked, they're doing it for me, not for themselves. That's and so true. How long is that really gonna last?
Probably
not that long until they value it for themselves.
That's
true. The challenge that I'm facing now, is having all these really cool, cute guys.
I'm telling you, they will come. The thing is,
2 years ago, I would have been, and they have everything on my list except the thing that's like, okay, I need to be involved in church and da da da. They have everything, so that's the challenge.
That's very true.
My pride.
They will come.
Yeah.
Temptation will come. The fine men will come. For men, the fine women will come. You just have to know what you believe. You know, decide what you want to do. But they will come. And
you gotta, trusting, that there's gonna be another fine man, and he's actually gonna be Christian,
and he's gonna meet exactly. He's gonna meet those things that are not deal breakers.
The ones that are not deal breakers. Yeah. So I think the challenge has been really. And I probably couldn't have stepped up to this before. I think I'm going into my womanhood right now, is knowing my deal breakers and sticking by them.
Yes.
Even when it doesn't seem like it's a good idea,
Definitely. So did you grow up in a household that advocated abstinence?
I did. I grew up, and my mom was Christian. She is Christian. Grew up in a Christian household, and she, I wouldn't say that she didn't tell me all the time to wait. It wasn't like she was telling me to wait. She was, very open about teaching me about she wanted me to know about my sexuality and know my faith. And so growing up in a house where my faith was really important, and that teaches you to be abstinent, and the people around, the people who I was around Sunday school taught me that. Definitely. And then growing up in a house where my mom was like, you need to know that this is how it works, and this is what happens, and this is what the consequences are. I would definitely say that I grew up in a house where that was advocated. My mom didn't keep tabs on me. Yeah. So I kind of was like one of those rebellious people, but she did definitely encourage me to, to be abstinent.
So in your definition, what is the purpose of sex?
I think the purpose of sex is twofold. One, to make babies.
That's true.
To make babies. And two, it's for comfort and to be enjoyed between a husband and a wife. It's for the comfort, for closeness and intimacy, and to express that closeness and intimacy with your spouse. And it provides comfort, like it does, comfort and pleasure.
And you create that bond with the other person.
Yes, to bond and create that intimacy with your spouse. It's like, if you imagine you're just kind of bearing yourself and your soul, and with your spouse. And in that environment, it's healthy. Because there's a give and take, because your spouse is your life partner, and you're in it together, and there's something bigger than just the physical.
So do you believe the media, music, or entertainment has influenced you to have sex, or?
Oh yes. Okay. Oh yes. This is part of why I get on YouTube and do what I do, because I think the media has a huge influence on how we see ourselves anyway. But in terms of sex, 100%, especially in America. Yeah. It's very interesting how we have a culture in America where it's not open to talk about. You can't openly talk about sex, right? It's not as welcomed. But it's all over. Like, people use sex to sell cigarettes. They use sex to sell drinks. They use sex to sell movies. To sell. Our culture is obsessed with the idea of love, and in this culture, sex and love go together. So the idea, I didn't say real love, the idea of love, not actual love. So what it 100%, because it 100% affects you, because movies like 40-Year-Old Virgin, let's talk about that movie, for example. that movie is a joke. It's like, oh my gosh, how could you be 40 years old and a virgin? And it's like, in our culture, it desensitizes you to what it actually means to lose your virginity. You're just taught that it's just this normal thing. It's just like it desensitizes us.
Very true.
Where you grow up thinking it's not normal to be a virgin in your 20s or your 30s. It's not normal. You literally get taught that it's not normal to keep your virginity if you're not married. Like to keep your virginity into your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Like let's say you're not married and you're in your 20s and you're a virgin. Society tries to tell you that's weird.
That's weird. Yeah.
Like it's like, oh my gosh, you're still a virgin. Oh my gosh,
what's wrong with
don't you know? Didn't you watch all those movies? You should have watched them when you were 16.
I know.
Like that's what you do. You know what I mean? So, 100%. And a lot of people don't necessarily have that, and you don't realize because you see these messages multiple times, it goes into your subconscious mind. Some of the feelings that you have about sex aren't even your own. It's because you've seen so much in the media multiple times over and over and over again that your subconscious mind, that you build beliefs in your subconscious mind, where you start to think, like, let's say you're Christian and you want to be celibate like me, but you're like, but this is not wrong. I should be free to do because this is what the media teaches me. 100%. It does affect us.
Yeah. It does.
And music as well, because a lot of music is about sex. It's about, all this stuff, and you play it and you listen to it and it starts to build desires. Music builds a vibe, and it so I try, that's part of with the challenge. It's like, even though I listen to a lot of music, I try not to listen to so much like baby making music where I get in the zone, and now I've put myself in a place where I might just call Johnny because I got in the zone. Because of this song.
You have these feelings and you want to fulfill them because of the music you listen to.
Exactly. So. My mom taught me whatever goes inside your eyes and ears, inside your senses, comes out in your life. So you can trust that, the media is always giving you messages about who you should be. And it's your responsibility, if you're, especially as a Christian, to fill your mind with what the Bible is saying.
The word,
which is the message. If it's in the form of a book, but it's like, that's our media and that's our message and that's what we should reflect.
Definitely. So what advice would you give to young teens and adults who want to be celibate?
Oh, okay. So there's a couple of things. Number one is to be honest with your parents and or whoever the adult is.
Teens.
Okay, for teens, young people, be honest with the adults that you have in your life, because I wasn't honest with my mom at all. I only told her 5 years after the fact that I lost my virginity. So be honest and forthright about your temptations, about, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, about what they're saying to you. Be honest with don't be closed off and isolated. Allow yourself, and even if it's with your connect group or your small group or your whatever youth pastor, whoever you feel like you can talk to, trust them and trust that you can come to them in your weakness. If you know that you want to be abstinent, but you're being tempted to not be, and you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's like saying, but it's going to make us closer or whatever, just talk to somebody about it before you make that kind of decision. Allow someone to convince you to not make that decision, first of all. Second, I would say that surround yourself with people who also want to be abstinent. Like,
definitely.
Birds of a feather flock together. You're either gonna get pulled up or if you're the only person in your group of friends who's a Christian and who wants to be abstinent, you need to change that. You need to start surrounding yourself with people who are cheering you on and making you feel really good for your choices. Not who are people making you feel crazy because you're not like everybody else. Okay? And my advice would also be, don't rush into having these boyfriends and girlfriends, because honestly, this is so funny, like my pastor says this, okay? Like, I know, I had my first boyfriend when I was 16, but going back, I would have said, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have gone into rushing into like a relationship, because he really couldn't do nothing for me. He didn't have no job. He didn't have nothing. Like, they don't really have anything to offer you at this point in time. So if I were you, I would just focus on what your gifts and your talents are, and focus that energy that you really want to, and your hormones, like you really want to give it towards a guy or a girl, but it's going to serve you best if in your youth you use that energy towards finding out why you're here on this planet. What are your gifts, talents, and abilities? What do you like to do? What is important to you? Maybe start a business, do something else. Take that energy and focus it on something that your future self is going to thank you for, because most likely that guy that you want to date or that girl that you want to date at 16, 17, 18, you're not going to be dating them at 22 or 23. Yeah. You're probably going to go through a lot of heartbreak that you don't need, because that person isn't even for you right now, you know? So I would say, instead of focusing so much on relationships, go and focus on building really great friendships with people who are like-minded, who are going to encourage you in your beliefs, and go and focus on your gifts, talents, and abilities, and get started early. You might as well get a head start on your future and your dreams now, instead of wasting that energy on someone who you're not going to talk to 10 years from now. Yeah. So that's it.
Wow, so much to offer. Wow, thank you so much for talking here with us.
I'm very happy.
So, bye you guys. Okay, subscribe, comment, or whatever.
Guys, make sure that you subscribe, comment, and meet us below in the comments.
She's a professional.
Meet us below in the comments to let us know what you thought about this video. All right?
Bye.
Bye.
My God.